There is a market in Nigeria that millions of people know, but surprisingly, many Nigerians do not know the woman behind its name. You may have eaten grilled fish there. You may have bought food, drinks, clothes, and provisions there. Perhaps you encountered one during your National Youth Service Corps orientation. Or maybe, like millions of Nigeria, you simply called it Mammy Market. But what if we told you that this name is connected to one woman, an ordinary military wife who started with nothing more than homemade kunu and a small entrepreneurial idea inside the barrack in the late 1950s? And what if that little business eventually became a familiar institution across Nigeria military life, and in 2026 even entered the Oxford English Dictionary? This is the remarkable story of Maria Mammy Oshefu, 1959 to 2025, 2025 to 2026. The story about entrepreneurship, military life, women's economic participation, Nigeria culture, and how one small idea can outlive its founder. Welcome to the Diaspora Project Media, your window into the stories shaping Nigeria, Africa, and the wider world. We bring you the facts and the history and the bigger picture. Today we travel back more than 6 decades to uncover the woman behind one Nigeria's most recognizable market institution before Mammy Market exists. To understand Mammy Market, we first have to understand the woman. Maria Oshefu was born Mammy Ode in Otukpo in present-day Benue State in 1941. In an interview with Punch in 2017, she explained that her father gave her the name Mammy, which means mother in English. Later, she adopted Maria as her English name. She married Anthony Aboki Oshefu, who at the time was a young Nigerian Army opera and military life meant movements, posting, transfer, new barrack, new community, and for families of military personnel, life could be very different from the civilian world. According to Oshefu's own account, she found herself spending long time period at home with little to do, so she decided to create something. Not a supermarket, not a chain of shop, not a major company, but something much simpler. She began making and selling a locally prepared drink, kunu. She also refers to the drink as enyi or umu in Idoma, and that simple product would change Nigeria military culture. The kunu that started a market. Oshefu business began as a very small operation. She prepared the drink and sold it to soldiers, and according to her in 2017 interview, demand grew rapidly. She recalled that soldier would come to buy the drink and that some officers became regular customers. Among those she remembered were military officers who would later become some of the most powerful figures in Nigeria history, including Yakubu Gowon and Muhammad Buhari. Punch reported Oshefu's account that both men were among her customers, but the business soon encountered a problem. Her drink was attracting flies, neighbors complained, and Regimental Sergeant Major eventually ordered her to stop. SFX, sudden silence. For a small entrepreneur, this could be the end, but something unexpected happened. The customer objected. The soldier wanted their drink back. According to the historical account repeated by Radio Nigeria, pressure was eventually placed on the military authorities to allow Oshefu to continue operating, this time from a designated space inside the barracks. And this is where the story takes an extraordinary turn. The problem is sanitation created the opportunity for permanent commercial space. Oshefu built a small shop, her customer returned, and business took off when one store became a market. This is perhaps the most important part of the story. Maria Oshefu did not create a giant commercial complex. She created the demand. Other women inside the barrack saw the opportunity. They began selling other products, food, drinks, snacks, and eventually much wider range of everyday goods and services. One woman became several trader, several trader became a cluster, and the cluster became a marketplace. And because the original entrepreneur was known as Mammy, the place became known as Mammy Market. One woman, one stall, many trader, Mammy Market. Historical account published by Radio Nigeria says the concept subsequently spread to military barrack across Nigeria. Oshefu herself explained that whenever her husband military posting took the family to another location, she established a smaller business, Kaduna, Zaria, Ibadan, and other military communities. Then when the family moved again, the business could be handed over to another woman. This detail is crucial because the model was not simply about one shop, it became replicable. A local business model that could travel with Nigeria military structure from military necessity to national culture. And this is where Mammy Market become bigger than the story of entrepreneur. It became part of social infrastructure surrounding military life. Inside a near military installation, this market provide everyday necessity to people living and working within the barracks community. Food, grocery, drinks, clothing, electronic, household items, tailoring, barbing, hairdressing, and social space. Some markets remain modest collection of kiosks. Others have developed in most larger commercial and leisure environments. One of the most recognizable examples of Mammy Market associated with Abacha, also known as Mogadishu Barrack in Abuja, which is popularly known for grilled fish and food business. But there is another important point. Mammy Market are not simply military shopping center. They became meeting points, place where military family personnel and depending on security arrangement, civilian could interact. In economic terms, they represent something familiar across Africa. Informal commerce filling gaps around formal institutions. Where people live, people need food. Where people work, people need service. And where thousands of people are concentrated in one location, economic activity natural follows. But there is a fascinating twist of this story. For decades, Mammy Market was simply a Nigeria expression, a phrase Nigeria understood without explanation. Then something happened outside the barrack. The word crossed a different kind of border, the border of language. And this is where Maria Oshefu's legacy suddenly became globally. Mammy Market entered the Oxford English Dictionary. In December 2025, the Oxford English Dictionary introduced hundreds of new words, phrases, and sense. Among the Nigeria entries was Mammy Market. The dictionary defined it was a market typically run by women, originally associated with military barrack, and later also found in a youth service camp and educational institution. That is significant because the dictionary drew more than defined word. They document how language is actually being used, and this inclusion of Mammy Market placed everyday Nigeria institution inside the record of global English. It appeared alongside Nigeria expression and cultural term. Amala, moi moi, Ghana must go. The same update also included Afrobeat. Nigeria cultural exports, Mammy Market, Afrobeat, Amala, moi moi, Ghana must go. But there is an important distinction. The Oxford recognition does not mean Oxford invented the terms. It means the term had become sufficiently established in Nigeria English and wider usage to be formally documented in the dictionary. In other words, the dictionary came after culture. The people created the expression, the institution created the meaning, and eventually the world documented it. If you find this story fascinating, like this video, subscribe to the Diaspora Project Media and share it with someone who should know this story. And now we want to hear from you. Did you already know the story behind Mammy Market? Or this is the first time you have heard about Maria Oshefu? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and mostly important, which country are you watching from? Drop it in the comment section. Thank you for watching. And remember, African biggest opportunity often hidden inside the story we think we have already known.